In this video, I will try to explain how to use the ebook, which is divided in two volumes. There is a foreword which we should read, followed by a page of abbreviations used in the book. Next, there are the pages of images and titles of group of pathologies. And at the end, we can see the link to Tung points. Now, to navigating through the information in the book, if we click on gastrointestinal, we will go to the gastrointestinal pathologies. If we click on diarrhea, we go to the page with the points recommended to treat this pathology. And we see in the title that is diarrhea 1. This means there is a further page on diarrhea, normally with the recommendation of the authors. If we click at the right page button on return, we go to the last viewed page. The points recommended are written with the active meridian. That sometimes will help us to make a treatment. If we press 1, we go to the relevant point. If we click on return, we could choose another point to see. We will see that the list of points goes from 1100, that's the fingers, till 101000, that's the head, and then to the powerful Dauma points. We can go to the recommendations made by the authors. Normally there are from 1 to 4 authors cited, depending on if I have found indications from them. Here we see 6 recommendations from Maher and 4 from Makan. If we click on return, we are taken to the listing page for the group of pathologies. For example, if we click on gynecology, we go to the gynecological pathologies. If we click on dysmenorrhea, we are taken to the page where we have the points and recommendations. In the recommendations, if a point is not described in the upper part of the page and is underlined, it means it has its own link. If a link for a point is missing or doesn't work, we have the possibility to go to the page of the group of pathologies, and we will find the relevant point. Let's say that the link of 7721 doesn't work. Then we can click on return till we get the relevant page. When we click on Tung points, click 7700 and then 7721, and we see the point scheme. As you can see, all the information is very simple to access. I hope this guidance proves useful. The meaning of Taiji in this context is the interrelations of parts of the body that can influence other parts of the body based in this interrelationship. For example, if you want to treat the head, we can use the shoulder or the hip. If you want to treat the chest, we use the arm or the thigh. The center of this interrelationship is the navel. Divides the body and the members in 4 portions. To make it clearer, I have made the navel zone wider. Then we have the relation with the inverted extremities, upper and lower. The center continues to be the navel, as well the elbow and knee. So if we want to treat the head, now we don't have only the shoulder and the hip, but the inverted hand and the inverted foot. If we want to treat the chest, we have now the inverted forearm and the inverted leg. And the same relation goes with the other areas. That is the large taiji. The next step is the medium taiji. In the medium taiji, we only have the relation with the forearm and hand in the upper extremity and leg and foot in the lower extremity. Here the navel is related to the wrist and the ankle. And as before, the extremities are divided in 4 parts. Each part related as we see in the diagram, included the inverted superior and inferior limb, which is the medium taiji. Finally, we have the small taiji. In this case, we can use any long bone. In the diagram, we use the humerus for the upper limb and the tibia for the lower limb. But we could use as well the femur or the radius or a metacarpian or metatarsian bone. The bone is divided in 4 parts. Those parts are related as before. The axis or center is the middle of the bone. And then we divide the bone in 4 parts, with the bone in the normal position and the inverted one. So now we have this interrelation between the different parts of the body. In this situation, if I want to treat the lower abdomen, we could use this inverted area of the bone, or this normal or unturned bone for the humerus, and those areas of the femur. That will be the small taiji. We could use the higher part of the forearm, fingers, toes, or higher part of the leg, which will be the medium taiji. Finally, we could use as well the shoulder, hand, hip, or foot. That will be the large taiji. We should understand that if we want to treat any area of this section, we can do it with any area interrelated. For example, we have pain in the hand, so we use the lower inverted forearm, the inverted arm, the normal forearm, the normal lower leg, the inverted thigh, foot, lower inverted leg, and these areas of the long bone, using the appropriate meridian relation. We have created a meridian wheel based in the diagram of meridian relations of the book Practical Atlas of Tung Acupuncture of Henry McCann, page 27. Here we find 7 relations. First, same channel correspondence. You treat the meridian with the same meridian. Second, same name channel correspondence. The altered channel is treated with the same parted channel. We have small intestine is Taiyan. We search for the other Taiyan, the bladder. We have the gallbladder Xiaoyan. We treat with Sanjiao, which is Xiaoyan as well. We treat the lung Taiyin. We look for the other Taiyin. It's spleen. Third interrelation. For exterior-interior coupling correspondence. The altered channel is treated by his Biaoli, couplet pair. That means the yin-yang relation. For the heart yin, we treat by small intestine yang. For the liver yin, we treat by gallbladder yang, and naturally vice versa. The fourth interrelation. For exterior-interior coupling correspondence of the same channel. The altered channel is treated by the externally-internally coupled pair of the same named channel. If we want to treat the heart, the coupled channel is a small intestine, and the channel with the same name, Taiyang, related to is bladder. So we use bladder to treat heart. If we have a stomach, the couple is spleen. Spleen is Taiying. The meridian with the same name is lung. So we treat stomach with lung. The fifth interrelation. For branching and connecting channel or Wu San Bietong, the affected channel is treated by the analog channel within the 6 layers. So as the gallbladder is Xiaoyang, we look for Xiaoying. So it's heart we used to treat. If we have the bladder Taiyang, we search for the Taiying, and this is the lung. If we have a stomach Yangming, we will use pericardium Yueying. Sixth relation. For channel clock opposite. We use the channel opposite in the Chinese wheel. The kidney with large intestine, the liver with the small intestine, and so on. And the seventh relation. For channel clock yin-yin neighbors. The yin channel is treated by its neighboring yin channel. The liver treats the lung, spleen treats heart, and the kidney treats pericardium. We can use this wheel to find which meridian will be possible to use in a certain situation. If we see that a patient has a pain in the forearm and the meridian involved is lung, we will be able to use liver, large intestine, stomach, spleen, and bladder. As we see here, the areas involved belong to the liver, large intestine, stomach, spleen, and bladder. When we see the area in a lighter color, means it is in the opposite side. The large intestine here is in the dorsal side and the bladder in the posterior or lateral side. We search for tender spots, make the needle insertion, and see the results. If the patient has a pain in the internal knee and we see that the involved meridian is spleen, we will use the lung, large intestine, stomach, heart, small intestine, and sanjiao. Here we have the internal knee with the spleen meridian affected. In the lower limb, we could use only the stomach, but in the upper limb, we can use the lung, heart, large intestine, and sanjiao. The sanjiao here is in a different color because it's in the dorsal side. As usual, we search for tender spots. Sometimes the patient doesn't feel the tenderness in the area, but if we make the needle insertion, works. If the patient has a pain in the back, in the scapular area, and the bladder and the small intestine are involved, we could see if one meridian works in both meridians. The heart and kidney will do the job. In this situation, using the heart and kidney, we will have all these possibilities to find tender spots. We find them, make the needle insertion, and hopefully have a good result. I have found an interrelation between meridians, forming triangles. That is, first, gallbladder, stomach, bladder. Second, liver, spleen, kidney. Third, lung, heart, pericardium. And fourth, large intestine, small intestine, and sanjiao. The interesting thing about these triangles is that they share the same type of relations. The first group is 2-1-2. as the gallbladder. Means 2 meridians before the gallbladder are Sanjiao and pericardium, 1 after the liver, and 2 opposite, heart 2 times. The second group is 3, 2, 1 as the liver. Means 3 meridians before the liver, and those are pericardium, Sanjiao, gallbladder. 2 after, lung, large intestine, and 1 opposite, small intestine. The third group is 1, 3, 2 as the lung, meaning 1 before the lung is liver, 3 after are large intestine, stomach, spleen, and 2 opposite, bladder 2 times. And finally, the fourth group is 2, 2, 1, like the large intestine. 2 before the large intestine, liver, lung, 2 after, stomach, spleen, and 1 opposite, kidney. The pattern repeats in all the other meridians. I think that is not a simple coincidence that this relationship between the 3 meridians should work in some way. So, if I found the meridian presenting a pathology, I have often had therapeutic successes by needling the other 2 parts of the triangle at the same level. I would be interested to have your feedback if this works for you. Hope the ebook content will be useful, and my best wishes to all.